There we go. Okay. And we are back. Let's continue here. So yeah, so last time we were doing the a little bit of upgrade to the editor and the transition between scenes. So now we can say that a exit and entrance has a size scale, so that you can define a larger area for entering and exiting an area, and which works now, so you can do that. But I also want to add how, like when transitioning, sort of the player position should be restored such that if you jump and transition, it should keep that same like momentum and position relative to the exit, so that on the other side the player will be up in the air and still jumping in the same way. So and then of course, you know, maybe in some transitions maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe some transitions you have to, like for example when you jump up, or yeah, when you jump up to a new area, I think it makes sense to usually give a little push to the jump when you enter the new area, such so that you don't just fall down again. It's a usual thing to have there. But for left or right, I want this to be here. So I mean, it's either gonna be that, or maybe a better sort of transition, maybe, so that you can see the character walking into the new area and not just appear as it does now. But yeah. Well, we'll start with this and we'll see where we end up. So right now we don't really have the sort of delta for this. Let's look at this X. So what we need for this is we need the sort of exit position is something, and then we need exit velocity. We don't have those yet, but once we have those, let's just pretend that we have those. Let's just say that this is whatever, you know. So let's say we have those, and this position is going to be relative to the exit sort of box, and we're also going to assume that the exit and entrance boxes are going to be the same size. Otherwise this won't really work. Okay, so we got the exit the exit position and velocity. So restore that, and then when we restore it, we want to restore. So we want to get the body of the player, and we want to set the position to entrance position. So we need the entrance position as well, which is gonna be, you know, it's gonna be the exit position plus the entrance. Well, okay, let's call this player entrance position, and we have entrance position like this. So it's gonna be where the player ends up is gonna be the exit position, which is relative to where you exited. the exit sort of box or entity, and then the position of the entrance, and that's going to be the position that we're going to end up in with the player. However, this would also mean that we're going to collide with the entrance. Well, actually, yeah, the entrance we're going to collide with. Okay, yeah, so that's good. So, but we don't want to collide with the exit, because then we're going to be stuck in a infinite loop, transitioning between the different scenes. Maybe. Okay, but player enters position. Let's also set velocity to exit velocity. So that's going to be the same. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, I also changed. I finally got around to changing the as you can see here, sort of the feedback, or the what you call it, the SIG sort of tooling that I have for NeoVim. So before I had this actual I used this Overseer plugin to run a build in SIG, and then I looked at the diagnostics on that and then put that in NeoVim. So I had this whole thing with that, but now it's I found out that the ZLS actually has a thing where it builds on save if you have that enabled. So I enable that, and now it builds on save and it reports that, so I don't have to, and I don't get the sort of double reporting that I had before. So that's really nice. Also, I disabled the diagnostics for I disabled the diagnostics that will show like in virtual text, because to me that is just really annoying, and I just lose focus when that happens. So I disabled that in order to be able to focus better. So before, this would actually appear as a virtual text to the right of this, but I disabled that, and I basically disabled all of that stuff. So now the only thing that we have is we have this if you want to find the errors after you're done with whatever you're doing, you can just open the diagnostics and you can see where you have the errors that you have to fix. So right now, for example, we have the entrance position, which doesn't exist yet, but I still wanted to, complete my idea before I want to focus on fixing the issues instead of having them popping up as I type, which is super annoying and I lose focus. So that and this was sort of almost the first sort of trial of this new environment. So I really like it, actually. We'll see how it goes, but yeah. So 1 second there. Just turning this off here. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to get we need the entrance position, and we're gonna get it from the entrance entity in the scene, in the new scene. So we should have the new scene loaded by now. So we're gonna need to get the entrance. So let's actually make a function for that. Get entrance, and then we have the key here. So let's make this function here. Get entrance, get entrance, which is gonna be scene entity. Yeah, I think we want to get the entire entity. Okay, and then this is going to be the key, which is just a string. Okay, and we also link game here. Also, just a thing like this, like defining a function. Like before, it's complaining that these are unused, and that turned up to the right of this. So it was just, you know, super super annoying. I can't get over how annoying it is, which is just, I mean, that prompted me to sometimes just go like this until I actually gonna use them, which is just waste of time to do that, just to get rid of the errors messages. It's just yeah. Anyway, I'll stop ranting about it. Okay, so get entrance, and this is gonna return the entity for the current scene. So we have the scene here, value entity. So we're gonna find this entity, and we're gonna say if entity wait, oh yeah, items, if this type is equal to entrance. Can we capture that here, or is this a thing? No. So I guess we'll do a switch instead, so we can capture it. Wait, do we want to? Yeah, we want to capture it. Okay. So let's do entrance, and we'll do if, and now we need to do a string comparison here. So entrance key, if this is equal to key that we provide, then we want to return the entity, and I guess this is a nullable. Well, let's just make this unreachable over here so that you always get the entrance, otherwise it will just crash. Okay. Let's reduce the nestedness of this a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, and now when you save, we get an error, and then we check, okay, what's the error here? Expected after, oh, okay. Yeah, and that's way better for me, because now I can focus on solving, doing the thing, and then afterwards when I save, it reports that, okay, you got an error in formatting, let's fix it. Instead of having it pop up as you're typing, because that just breaks your flow, at least for me. Okay, mix scalar and vector. Yeah, so this one is an entity, and this, yeah, so the entrance, and then we have, so let's actually get, no wait, we just need the position, yeah. Alright. And we have a thing here, we're just gonna say, no, this is just gonna continue. Alright, and now we can go in and see, okay, where's the error? So we got an error over here. And we will just return this. There we go. Alright. Are we done? So we get the entrance, we set the position of velocity. Velocity should be the same. The position is now relative to the entrance. Oh yeah, well, we're not done. We need to also figure out here. So we do have, so this would be after the transition. So this would be after, I guess we could call it. And then this one would be before. And they might have the same, well, they probably don't have the same, well, I don't know. They might have the same pointer, but they also might not have the same pointer. So we'll just do this, and then for player body, so let's see, this would be, yeah, so the velocity, we're just gonna copy the velocity here before clone velocity, Okay, and then the position is gonna be the position, but then that's gonna be now relative to the exit. So we'll do, is it exit minus this or the other way around? No, I think it's player minus, yeah, I think it's this. Okay, so yeah, I think so. So then this would be the exit. Well, we don't have the position. We need, let's actually make this the entity instead. Why are we doing this as a, is it because of the strings? No, that's a slice. It shouldn't need to be a pointer. Okay, let's just do that. And then this would be type like this. Let's do this. Let's do scene file name is equal to, and what else? Entrance. Let's do key. Wait, we're duplicating it. Oh, we're duplicating. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's just do that. Let's just keep it like this and then put this here. Like exit. Alright. Okay, yeah, and then we can use key here instead. There we go. Okay, so now, yeah, this would be exit.position here. Okay. Yeah, and this one actually we want to have, oh, we don't actually have the thing here. Do we have a position? So we do have an AABB. Oh, so maybe we should just use that then instead. Okay, so let's go back. Let's do this again. Yeah. Let's just do this so we don't get any weird things. And we'll do this back there. Okay. Let's section this off a little bit here. Okay. All right. There's also this message, as you can see, popping up at the bottom, no code actions available. That's because I was following the Zig ZLS sort of config example for NeoVim, which stated that you could use 2 code actions, fix all, and organize the imports, but it seems like they don't do anything. At least from what I've seen, or maybe I haven't found a use for them, but it says no code actions available now when every time I have a auto command for when after saving or before saving, I think it does those actions, but then it reports back like no code actions available instead of actually doing anything. So it might not work. So maybe I have to change capabilities or something, I don't know. But anyway, that's why that shows up there. So the position, so let's use the thing here and just get the center of that. I believe that should work. Okay, so now we've got rid of all the errors. And now we should be getting the position of the exit, and we have the velocity. Well, the position of the player relative to the exit, I should say. So now it's, if we add the exit position, yeah, we will get the actual position. So when we add the entrance position, we should get it the correct position here. Okay, so let's actually test this now. Just checking if it's actually trying to run this now. There we go. Okay, I have to go over here. And yeah, it does something. Okay, so I think okay, 1 second, someone is at the door. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so yeah, something's happening. Let's change. I want to change this positions here, so let's go yeah, let's go here, and this is, I think it's called this, because I have a map that has like a larger scale thing that I want to test this out on. I think it's this one, or is, oh sorry, no, it's entrance 2. Well, it's gonna be, oh yeah, it's this one. Yeah, yeah. Oh, or was, wait, I have to double check what it was called here. Oh, it's entrance also. There we go. Okay. Wait. Was this the one or? Oops. No, yeah, it's this one. So you can see here, here's the entrance. I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. Someone is drilling or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, because this one is not scaled. Let's just scale this one as well. It's 14, and I have to. Whoops. No. I have to like put this like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Wait, where am I? Okay, so we go over here. And this one should also then be scaled. Okay. So I'm not sure why the position doesn't really match up here. But let's go over here and start this one. Whoa, sorry. Why is this happening? Okay, so for some reason the position is bad. Maybe we should mirror the position. Because we're coming in, we're kind of colliding with the edge, and that's when it transitions. And maybe we should mirror it, because then we end up at the other side of the same thing. So by mirroring, I mean doing this. The exit position should be, we should do negative here. But then, no, that won't work, right? It's just the X. It's just the X that needs to be mirrored. The Y shouldn't be mirrored. But then it depends on if the exit is like horizontal or, yeah. Yeah. Maybe they should have a direction. I'm not sure actually. I mean, one solution would be like, okay, you can define, okay, this exit is horizontal, so you should only mirror the X position. Let's just see if that works first of all. Let's do this, and then we do, no, not scalar. Let's do, so the X position is mirrored, and then the other one is not. So this would work for all the horizontal ones, I believe, but not the non-horizontal ones. Okay, there we go. This is kind of more like what I wanted. Also, the camera is really strange in the transition on this one. Camera should also be like instantly panned at transition. I'm not sure why it does that, but okay. Yeah, so now this actually works pretty well here. actually. So that's kind of nice, but it won't work for whatever it is, the vertical ones. So what we could do, just to make a quick fix for that, is to go in here and just define is horizontal, and we set that to, well, we're gonna set this to be metadata is horizontal or else true. So it's gonna be a nullable. So we'll just put a new thing in metadata is horizontal, but it's a nullable, so it doesn't have to be set. We could actually set the default to true here. Well, whatever, we have the default here already, so okay. And oh, that should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Now yeah, so now they should be there, and now we can go into game again here. Wait, where were we here? Yeah, so here we want to do mirror vector is going to be if the exit is horizontal, then will this still work though? This is a pointer. Actually, will this still exist after we transition? No, it won't. Let's just make this, let's just copy this here. It's kind of weird in Sig how, well, you can take a parameter like this. How would Sig know? Like if you take a parameter like this, sometimes Sig creates a reference, apparently. How would it know, like if you're actually destroying the place where it is in the code here, because we are doing that. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is like you're gonna have to think about that yourself. Okay, anyway, it's horizontal, so if we are horizontal, we're gonna have to use this one now. Then we are going to do the same thing as we have down there. The X thing is mirrored, otherwise we're gonna mirror the Y instead, and there. Okay, so now we can define on each exit, we can define if it's horizontal or vertical. I guess it's better to say is vertical, because that's gonna be less. So is horizontal is implied, but is vertical is gonna be the one that you wanna set to true. I guess it makes more sense. Okay, let's just. Oh, we can still. I guess we can still have this. Oh, is vertical. False. All right. such a bit. Okay, this is a bit annoying. Now it reports errors. You have to save the file that has the errors in order to clear the errors. In my script, I actually had that. Each time you saved, it just cleared all the errors, and then any new errors that pop up are gonna be put into the diagnostics. But here it seems that they keep old errors, and you have to go into the file that has the errors and save that file in order to clear the diagnostics. And we'll just do this. Okay. Right, so now we can define if an exit is horizontal or not, and or I mean if it's vertical or not, and if it's not, well, yeah, and that determines the mirror direction. So if we test this now, this should work. Oh, we got a crash. Unwrapped missing field, okay. Well, it is nullable. I thought that would work. I'm pretty sure it worked before. If it's nullable. Or maybe I have to do some, like, in the options or something. Let's see, where are we doing this? Here. So we have options here, so you can say ignore unknown fields. Well, that's like fields that exist in the metadata, in the JSON, but not in, or I mean, we'll set this true and see if that fixes it. Fill default struct values. Oh, maybe I have to put a default thing here then. I see. So let's put false. Actually, maybe then you don't actually need nullable in that case. See, now I have to save this file in order to get the error here. I don't like that. I wanted to report all errors, not just the one in the file. Okay. Well, anyway. Expected optional type file, yeah. So now we can just get rid of this. And start. Okay, now it works. And there you can see it now transitions well here. Okay, that did not work. That's good. Okay, strange. Why would it like stop it? Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. We're not gonna have that ability anyway, but Okay, so one thing that I want to check out is the camera there. So why is the camera doing that? Wait, game transition. Why is the camera doing that? So we're restoring a persistent state. Are we doing anything with camera in here? Just the health. We are doing load. And we are centering on the player. I don't think we use this. We just set the position here. We should teleport the camera here. We should not pan it here. What's happening here? Camera target. All right, okay. Well, we don't care about that. What we do care about is when we update the camera here. We want to update the camera directly. Right. So we actually want to snap the camera to snap camera. What is this? Oh yeah, it's this one. And we need the boundary. Okay. So here we actually do snap game snap camera. And the position. Wait. Oh, it's the target. Okay, so if the camera position is actually already set, then we don't really... Okay. So why is it not doing that? So we're doing a transition here. When we transition, do we actually want to run that frame? It feels weird that we're doing this and then we're just running the frame. Maybe we should have a bool here and say returns true if scene was transitioned. If transitioned. And this one is return true. Otherwise we return false. And now we check if we do this, we actually want to return it. We don't want to do anything. And I would just run a new frame next time, because we want to run like a fresh frame on this. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, I guess we'll test that to see. I mean, it looks like it works. Okay, but we still need to fix why the camera is doing that. So we have set the camera position now to a new thing. Where did that? After this, the camera position should be set on load here. It should be set to the player. Okay. And then we return true here, so we start a new frame. Next time we go in here, we do a bunch of things. And we're going to the camera. And we get the target, which should be the player, which should have almost, it should be like the exact same position as before. And then this relative should be like instant, because the target is already, we're already at the player. Then it should just set it immediately, and yeah. Why is that sound effect playing? So it's like going down. I don't understand. Also, why is why is the player facing right sometimes? It's like if I move over here and I let go. We don't preserve the direction. Okay, I need to. I'm just gonna write that down. Transition. Do we have transition anywhere? Yeah. So let's just add this here. Player on transition, preserve player direction. Okay. I don't understand why this happens here. Okay, let's just log some stuff out here. So I basically wanna just do this when we have done an after an exit, like after a transition. Because we're doing the transition here after we've loaded a new thing. Oh wait, I'm stupid. We're setting the position of the body here. So we're actually... Okay, that makes sense. Right. Okay, because first we are putting the player at the exit. Yeah, okay. So we should probably... Yeah, we should do this here, actually. Yeah, so I think, yeah, here we actually need more things here. We could add offset and velocity. And then we go down to position. It's actually going to be position plus the offset. Can we actually put things in here? We don't have velocity here. I mean, we could just add, well, then I would need to change that. Okay, let's, but we can get their body here, I think. Yeah. This returns a rigid body, yeah. So we could do, oh man, we got arms, but I don't think those matters though. Okay, and then we say set velocity to velocity. Yeah. Okay. Now we need to put this in here as well then, so we need to say player offset, player velocity. This is gonna be a bit messy here. I'll probably restructure this sometime, but I'll just pass these along for now. Don't really have a good, I mean, we probably want to do some sort of transition object, configuration object or something that you put all these things in. But I just want to get this working first. Alright, and then now here we wanna, so first we have the offset. The offset is going to be, we have to mirror. Yeah, we have to know the mirror. Alright, so now we have those. Now we have position and velocity. So we can just put this here now. I will remove this. Oh yeah, we also need the entrance position. So let's grab that. Let's remove this. So we need these things. Yeah, we need the entrance position. So we need the offset to be, we have the entrance key. Oh, we're actually passing it in here. And here's the entrance scene entity. Okay, so we already have this. So we can do, yeah, so we can just do this. Entrance scene, because I think the only thing that we're using it is for the position. Yeah, so let's actually remove this, and we have the entrance position here, and then the player entrance position is going to be, no, let's just grab this. Whoops. Yeah, and then down here we do entrance position plus the offset. Yeah, and the offset is already mirrored, I believe. here. Yes. So it's already mirrored. Player velocity. This is the entrance key. Okay. Yeah, right. So when we start, we do this start thing, we just say this is going to be 0, the offset is 0, and the velocity is 0. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. That works really well. Cool. All right. Awesome. Let's see. Yes, this one is done. Great. Yeah, let's do this player. Well, we have a bunch of stuff that we want to preserve, and we probably want a more. I mean, this works for now. I think we want to have a more sort of sophisticated way to actually restore this state. We do have the persistent state thing. Let's see, where was that? Here. So we do have like restore here, but I mean, yeah, we could just do it here. So we have direction. Let's just do this. We'll just grab horizontal direction here. And I guess we'll follow this. I don't exactly remember how I did when I did this, but yeah, and then we just populate this here. And we restore it here. All right, and this is like a, I mean, you could make this into a pattern, just copying. This is just copying over the old things, basically. We could probably even restore a whole entity by just grabbing all components that an entity has. I'm not sure if there's a way to do that in ECS here. It's like you get an entity, and how would you, like, because then you would have to iterate through all of the different components. I mean, you could technically, you could have a list of all available components, or make a list of all available components, or something like that. I mean, technically this should be able to be done. Group. I'm not sure about groups. Groups just seem to mess things up for me. I'm pretty sure there are probably like optimized things that you use to optimize stuff, but also I probably already need to optimize some of the monsters or like some of the logic here, because I noticed that even with just, you know, maybe 10 entities, the FPS drops from like 1,000 to 300, which seems like a lot. But I mean, it would drop the most, I guess, at first, and then drop less the more you add things. We could do a performance test as well, just add a whole bunch of entities and see. Remove all, so we can remove all. Okay, that's interesting. Removes all components. So here's a way to actually, because components value iterator. We don't know the type, but we do need to be able to call methods on storage T. Store as. Okay. So it's kind of hacking this way. So we could do something like this, I guess. What kind of iterator is this? Hue size. And then you exit, so you get a pointer, I guess. Okay. And then you get the store like this, and you can use stuff on it. Okay. So here's a way to actually go through all the components. I mean, it might not be consistent, I guess, through maybe updates to this library, but it's a way to iterate through all the components and copy them over to the new place. Set context binds an object to the context of the registry. I don't understand, and I will just leave that there. Reserve. Okay. That's good to know that we have that. Raw, prepare. No. So I don't think there's a way to just copy all components. But anyway, we can do this for now. We don't want maybe to copy everything anyway. So right. So now the direction should be persistent as well. So let's see if we can test this now. So it's like if I move and oh. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, you can see it is consistent now of the player, but not the shield and the other stuff. Okay. Right. Interesting. After we restore, we might want to run something else. And also, it's kind of weird now because we have some things are restored in load, while other things are restored in this step. So it's kind of weird. Maybe everything should be sort of initialized in load instead of having this weird separate step here. But anyway, so we're loading the scene, the entities and stuff. The player is here. We are adding all the directions here. Everything is right from the start. And right now we don't have, like when we restore, in that case we could just put everything else in there as well, like the arm and stuff. So we could have player arm, player shield, and player weapon. And then we will, yeah, we'll just copy this over for all of those. So this would be arm, shield, and weapon. And arm. Let's do direction arm, shield. And now we can pass that in here. So arm, shield, and weapon. All right. So a little bit spread out on where these things happen, but I think once it gets, next step when it gets more convoluted, or whenever, you know, I feel like it, I can fix it. Okay. There we go. Now it works. I've released before we enter the new area and it's restored. Okay, cool. You get like a tiny... Okay, when you enter the new area, you get like a tiny, like one frame. It shows the old, like the camera in the wrong position. Okay, and I know why it happens, because we are skipping the rest of the frame here, and we're skipping the camera update, and then when we do the draw step, which we are doing outside of the update function, we draw the thing there. So maybe we shouldn't actually return here. Maybe we should update the camera. We could do this. We could do update camera here and then return. Yeah, that seems to work, I think. I wonder if you double jump and then you can double jump again. Okay, I knew that was gonna be happening because we're resetting everything basically. So you can do this. Oh. Wow. Okay. So you should probably have that restored as well. And those things are actually stored. Where are those things stored? In the input stuff. Wait, we have update. Oh yeah, we have this. Okay. Where is that stored actually? I don't remember. Was it in the player component? Probably like jumping. Yeah, play component. So we should restore some stuff in the play component as well then. Let's go here and see what we can restore here. I mean, we should probably restore everything. What would be the issue, really? It's like, why not? Yeah, let's just restore everything. So we'll go here and we'll do player component. I mean, yeah. I wonder if we should just make a list. These are the components that we want to have restored. Components to restore. It's gonna be player component, health, horizontal. I guess it would be, it's kind of a special case with the player arms and stuff though. Yeah, we'll just keep that as a special case after we've done everything here. This is gonna be like, I mean, we don't really need to, well, we do need to save the structure somehow. Maybe we could like make a, no. I mean, what we also could do is we could say like this, we don't need to do this, and we'll just say equals undefined by default here. We don't need to specify anything here. Let's just get rid of this entirely. Just make things simpler here. Now here, what we do is we say inline for fields. Oh, we don't have this one. So we go through all the fields of type of player. Well, I guess we could just say player. Get the field there. Now what we could do here is we say well, we have the field type, so we're gonna say component is equal to, we're basically doing this, field player, field on player, and field name is equal to get cost, and then type of, no, not type of, it's gonna be field.type, and then entity is gonna be player. Now we're basically doing this, except we're going through all the fields, and we're doing, just assuming that all fields are components, and we're just gonna copy those over. Okay, but that also places a constraint on these components that they can't have any sort of allocated things. They should all be copyable stuff, basically. Well, actually, they could have allocated things. As long as we don't free those things, we should be fine. Okay, whatever. I don't think we have any of that. So, anyway, let's see. So, because you always have to go through the hoops of thinking, okay, how how is this stored and how can we copy this? Is it safe? Is it gonna be good? Otherwise you will run into weird errors in the future that is hard to fix, depending on how far it's buried and stuff. Okay, so we're looping through the player fields. We are now copying over those things over there for each field, so we don't need to specify anything else in here. It's going to automatically do it for all the fields. So next time we want to add a field here, we just add a new field here to be copied over, so we don't need to do anything else. Now down here though, we do want to also do a loop, and it's going to be the same thing. We're going to go through fields. Let's just copy this there, and then we're going to do the component. Well, actually, we could do this. Well, we could just do this get, and then this would be field type player, and then we set the contents of that to be self player. So we need to have a field access here, field.name. Okay, now we can get rid of these two, and then we have a special case for these four here, and we could do this. We could also say player direction is equal to horizontal player, so we don't have this as a sort of dependency here. And now we can just do, now we can do get const, I guess. So we just copy those over here. There we go. Okay. So now, unless we want to do something else weird with the armor shield, maybe the animations, I don't know. But now we are restoring. Now we can, if we want to add a new component that we want to restore, we can just add it here, and it will automatically be restored because we are looping through all the fields. So that's a really nice application of the comp time thing. Okay, let's go through. Like, doing simple things like that really helps with. It's sort of a little bit like meta programming, I guess. So if I attack here, you can see the attack actually. So it keeps the state. It doesn't keep the animation though. Maybe I should keep the animation as well. It's going to remove things like the attack kick. Oh, well, the state, the player state. No, the player state is actually also copied now. So now you can't do this. Although you get this weird animation glitch now because we're not storing the animation. Maybe we should just save the animation. This would now be very simple. So we just add animation instance. And that should be it. So we have animation instance. We also have, no, that should be it, right? That's like the state of the animation that we would need to want to save. It doesn't really save. Well, okay. It seems to actually do it. Okay, it does it for the player, but not for the... Yeah. Weapon and stuff. So, but that's also fixable if we go through that here. Actually, we could just do this. We could do horizontal direction, animation instance, then inline for arms and stuff. So we can do this. We get the type here. Yeah. And then we just do this. And we say arm, shield, weapon, and then this player component. Well, it's not playing component. I mean, it's, well, let's call it source. Well, it's not gonna be the, oh yeah, it's not gonna be the same though, is it? Yeah, because we're not saving those animations up here though. Maybe we should have a separate one for the accessories. I'm not sure what to call it. I'll just call it this for now. So this one we want to store horizontal direction and animation instance. I mean, I guess. No, wait. Yeah, no, it needs to be like this. I just call it accessories. I don't know what to call it. The accessories. Okay. And then when we store, we also want to store accessories. So we just copy this now, accessories. Technically, you could also inline. No, you can't actually, because now we need a special cases. So we need to actually do this hard coded here for this one. Well, this is you could also, I guess, have a more sophisticated way, but I'll just put this in here, and this one would be, no wait, this is player accessories, and then this would be equal to, actually they would all be separate. So we need one separate thing for each one. This would be arm, and we have shield, and then weapon. Yeah. Right. Now, yeah, and then here we do player arm. That's gonna be arm. We do player shield. And weapon. Okay. And when you do this, you kind of see like patterns emerging and stuff, and then you can start to abstract if you want. But yeah, so now we have all these. 1 second here. Anyway, so we have these now, and we going through all the accessories, like things that we want to save for these entities now. And then we get back here. We don't need this because we already have. We should do the same thing with this, and then go open accessories. And then we have field, and then we basically do the same thing here. Yeah, so we don't need to get the source now because we are saving the thing directly here. So we do reg get and then field type, and then for player arm is equal to field self player arm field name, and then we don't need any of these, but we will need to also do this for the shield and the weapon there. Okay, so now we are restoring those exactly how they were before. We're not doing any weird shenanigans. So this is starting to become a pattern where you specify an entity, and then you also specify which sort of components of that specific entity do we want to save. I'm not sure if we can do that more generally, but we only need to do it right now for these things, so let's just keep it. Oh, we got some errors. Player arm, player accessory. Oh, we need to say equals undefined here. And yeah, so here we also need player arm, player shield, and player weapon. Yeah, and now this main warrant like an object instead or something. I'm not sure what. Yeah, it does. And because the animation is so quick. Yeah, it does actually store the thing now. Like the animation. Okay, cool. Now we can't do that weird bug earlier where you could go up and up. Okay, cool. So let's see. Now we have fixed this, and also and weapon shield. Animations. Okay, nice. Just checking stuff. Yeah, we didn't have this weird crash. I'm thinking that this might be related to the pointer invalidation problem. That might be some function that relied on an old pointer. I'm just gonna check in-game update function because I saw that we're grabbing the player component here, but we're not using it later down the road here. Everything else here should be freshly grabbed from the registry. Maybe the player... No, should be updating that. Okay, well, we fixed a whole bunch of issues with transitioning. I'm sure this is probably gonna disappear after a while where I've not seen it we probably wanna just remove that. But yeah, I think I don't. Well, there's a lot of things to do, but right now, I'm not sure if there's anything more to do with this particular thing. Yeah. So I'm right now, I'll just go over a little bit what I'm trying to think about right now. It's actually more like abilities and world building, like level building and stuff. Because the levels are gonna be affected a lot of how the player will, what the sort of abilities the player will have. And so that will affect the design of the levels. Like right now I'm trying to design the levels in just sort of a very open way, so that you can make changes to them later to accommodate for adding secrets or ways to interact with the environment based on the abilities that the player will get, or just, you know, new environmental things that should exist in the game. I mean, it's gonna be the game is gonna be, it's gonna have like a puzzle platformer feel as well as Metroidvania. Metroidvania are like classical Metroidvanias are like, to me, very like skill based, you could say. Like you get a new ability and then you learn that, and then you have to improve your skills in order to defeat more monsters and then bosses, and you get more abilities, and you know, you learn those and you progress like that. It's not so much like a puzzle element. There are a little bit of puzzling elements or puzzle elements, but I want this game to have more focus on puzzles and maybe than traditional Metroidvanias has. So it's gonna feel more like that. It's also gonna have like combat and, you know, upgrades and all the Metroidvania classic things. But I also want to have a puzzle element in it, like a mysterious kind of like Symphony of the Night has also that kind of weird feeling where you're finding a secret or you're trying to solve a weird puzzle by doing some weird things. Finding a button that you don't really know what it does. You press it and what happened? You hear something in the distance but you don't really know what it does. Or like some weird solution to a problem that you couldn't have anticipated. I want that sort of feeling, and maybe in a structured way. I don't know. Really, I'm trying to think of a lot of different ways to do it, and I think I have some a compass on some of these things, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to try some of these things out. I have to sort of draw out some ideas and just get started on that. Yeah, so it would be cool to have a lot of things that are like just specific to one specific area, because then it feels more authentic. It feels more like, yeah. Because I think, yeah, Symphony of Night is a great example of that, where they just added a whole bunch of stuff that's like unique to different places, which I think is really cool. But yeah, I'm gonna take it slow and do, well, whatever I want to implement into the game. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to call it here. And yeah, thanks for anyone watching and tuning in, and hope you have a nice day.